The biggest question I get when someone finds out I'm currently driving a Polaris Slingshot around is, what is it? Is it a car or a bike? Our society loves to classify things, but the Slingshot refuses society's labels. It's the prince, artist, not title, of vehicles. You don't buy a Slingshot because you want a car to do X, and you certainly don't buy a Slingshot because you want a motorcycle that does Y. The thing is, it's neither. Its official classification is as an autocycle, which helps Polaris skirt some of the more stringent automotive safety standards when it comes to crash testing, while also not requiring a motorcycle classification on your driver's license to pilot one. Unlike other three-wheelers, most of which are powered by some sort of motorcycle engine, the Slingshot is powered by the same 2.4-liter GM EcoTech engine used in cars like the Chevy Cobalt and Saturn Ion, which makes 173 horsepower at 6,200 revolutions per minute and 166 pound-feet of torque at 4,700 revolutions per minute. That power is delivered to the single rear wheel by a carbon fiber belt. While that doesn't sound like a ton, it's a solid amount for a thing that weighs 1,700 pounds. At 150 inches long and just over 77 wide, the Slingshot is shorter than a base Mini Cooper, wider than a Lamborghini Gallardo, and lighter than a smart car. It's also only 51 inches tall, and the top 12 of that are the roll bars. The Slingshot sits on 3 Kenda SS 799 tires, the fronts are 225/45 R18 and the rear a massive 305/30 R20. It also comes with power steering, electronic stability control, anti-lock brakes, and traction control which, mercifully, can be turned off, but we'll get to that. The steering is actually one of the biggest improvements between the latest generation Slingshot and the first one I drove 2 years ago. Initially, the Slingshot felt a little like a Ural sidecar motorcycle in that it didn't want to track in a straight line and required constant adjustments to keep it in a lane on the highway. The steering took a huge effort, like a workout that never ended, because it took so much strength to turn and because it took so many adjustments and steering input to keep it pointed where you wanted to go. You couldn't even really drive one-handed if you wanted to, not that that's the sort of thing you should be doing anyways. The new models handle much better. Steering feels far lighter, whether you're hammering it in tight twists and turns or navigating a parking lot, and the task of keeping it in a straight line goes back to your subconscious where it belongs. I was so impressed, I asked Polaris engineers why it tracked so much better. They said the components are all essentially the same, but that they change the calibration by tightening the tolerances in the steering system to feel better at speed and return to center better.